The digital hum of algorithms.
Yeah.
It's really everywhere now. For many of us, navigating the rapid pace of AI can feel a bit like standing on a platform, watching this, dizzying high-speed train just pull away. There's this sense of digital vertigo, maybe a fear of being left behind. But here's a grounding truth from the sources you shared. You don't need to be some kind of tech wizard to harness this power. This deep dive is really your direct route to understanding and maybe even steering that train.
Welcome to the deep
Dive. Yeah, today we're unpacking a really fascinating roadmap. It's designed specifically for you to navigate this AI revolution. We're going to tackle some of those common fears, look at the different ways you can...
Okay, let's unpack this then. Before we even touch any tools, the sources really emphasize we need to dismantle these psychological walls first. They highlight 5 common barriers that apparently stop most people from even getting started.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is how these mental barriers are often, way more formidable than any actual technical challenge. The first one, super common, is that thought, I'm not a technical person. But here's the thing, modern generative AI, it's built for
Accessibility. It operates using natural language. If you can ask a question, you basically have the core competency. Seriously, zero coding required.
Right. That's a huge shift then. Makes it accessible to so many.
Then there's that pervasive feeling that it's all changing too fast. You hear that all the time. The model arms race, that rapid competition between companies releasing new AI models. It's mostly noise for the average user, honestly. The underlying principles, they remain pretty stable. Think of it like learning to drive. Car models change constantly, sure, but steering, accelerating, braking, that's constant, right? Learning one large language model, and LLM gives you those foundational skills you can apply
Anywhere. It's the driving, not the specific car model, that matters.
That analogy really grounds the idea. It does sound like the core mechanics are maybe more stable than the...
focus on the core. You can kind of ignore the rest for now.
Okay, so cut through the clutter. What about keeping up with all the news, that constant flow of updates?
Yeah, I can't keep up with AI news and developments feeling. Look, don't even try to drink from that fire hose. Seriously, your goal isn't to be an encyclopedia, right? It's to be a practitioner, to use it. Find a couple of really good curated newsletters, let others filter the noise, be selective.
And finally, a really significant one, the ethical side of things.
Boy, I'm worried about the ethical implications. This isn't a barrier you just
Dismiss. It's actually fundamental. It's a principle to integrate into how you use AI. Learn to use it responsibly. That means critically evaluating the outputs. Always. Understand...
Shift they can make to just get started.
focus on the unchanging core principles and just applying a few simple foundational tools. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture of your journey into AI, it's going to be most effective when you really understand your own primary motivation for learning. The guide outlines 3 distinct learning personas, which I think are really helpful. Each has a clear path.
Yeah, these personas are incredibly helpful. You'll likely see yourself in one, or maybe even move between them over time. The first one is the everyday explorer. What's their core drive, really?
The explorer's motivation is pretty straightforward. Save time, reduce daily friction, maybe enhance personal productivity or creativity. Their basic question is, how can...
Stepping it up a bit, we have the power user. What sets them apart?
The power user. They're aiming to amplify their professional output. They want to integrate multiple multiple AI tools into like cohesive workflows. Their mindset shifts to how can I combine these AI tools for a much bigger, more impactful result? Think about a content creator. They might use Perplexity for research with citations, importantly. Then maybe Claude for a detailed outline and a first draft. Then jump over to Midjourney for a stunning custom image. And maybe finish with 11 lives for an audio version. They're kind of like a conductor, you know?
Orchestrating this symphony of specialized tools. So their toolkit naturally includes multiple LLMs and a variety of these specialized tools for different kinds of output.
That's where you start to feel the real potential.
This is definitely where it gets really exciting, yeah. The builder's motivation is different again. They want to solve systemic problems, create entirely new capabilities, maybe build automated processes. They're thinking, how can I make AI do the work for me, even when I'm not directly involved, autonomously? The guide gives an example of a small business owner using something like NN to build a customer service agent, one that can read emails, understand the intent, search a knowledge base, and draft intelligent replies all by itself.
Or maybe a developer using an AI code editor like Cursor to help build and debug an entire app. Their core tools are these automation platforms and AI-powered development.
Yeah, beneath that, rapidly changing surface, there's definitely a stable foundation of core concepts. Understanding these will serve you no matter how the technology evolves down the line. First, artificial intelligence, AI. That's the broadest term. It's basically any software designed to simulate human intelligence. Could be simple, could be complex. Then we have machine learning, ML, which is a subset of AI. These systems are specifically trained on data to recognize patterns and then make predictions, like Netflix
Recommending your next binge watch. It learns from data.
It's all about finding those hidden patterns, then using them to predict what's next.
Exactly. And deep learning along with neural networks. That's a
creative content are the LLMs themselves.
Yes. LLMs, large language models, they're the foundational engines like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. They're trained on just massive amounts of text data. And their fundamental skill, believe it or not, is predicting the next most likely word in a sequence. This surprisingly simple skill lets them generate coherent text, summarize, translate, even kind of mimic reasoning. And your input to the AI, that's called a prompt. It's really the art of giving clear, context-rich instructions. Better prompt, better output.
That's definitely where the magic, or sometimes, yeah, the frustration happens. It really is like a conversation.
It is, and a critical limitation to always keep in mind is hallucination. This is when the AI generates stuff that sounds totally plausible, but it's actually incorrect or maybe just nonsensical. Remember, it's designed to generate likely word sequences, not verified truths. So always fact-check critical information. Don't just trust it blindly. To help fight this, there's a technique called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. This basically connects LLMs to external reliable data sources, like how Perplexity connects to live
web search results. It makes them more factually grounded, less likely to just make things up.
Whoa. Okay, imagine these core concepts enabling a system to not just understand, but to perfectly respond.
give you a stable mental model for understanding what AI can really do and, importantly, what its limitations are. Sponsor. Okay, now that we've kind of grasped these core concepts, let's look at the practical tools you'll actually use day to day. The guide helpfully distills them into 5 key categories that should cover most of your goals. Think of this as building your personal AI toolkit.
Yes, your essential toolkit. Okay, first up, large language models, the LLMs. These are really the Swiss Army knives of AI, just incredibly
Versatile. We're talking about tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, the big ones. They excel at text generation, sure. But also deep analysis, summarizing complex things, and so much more. And the modern ones are
of like your ultimate second brain. You've got Perplexity, which is fantastic. It's an answer engine that does real-time web searches, but also gives you citations. Invaluable for fact-checking or any kind of serious research. Then there's Notebook.LM. This is a really powerful second brain concept where you upload your own private documents, notes, papers, meeting transcripts, whatever, and it becomes an expert on your specific information. You can ask complex questions across all your personal data. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, then there's image generation. This has truly gone from like a cool novelty to a serious professional creative tool, hasn't it? Midjourney is often cited as the leader for art.
Refines the image interactively.
Yeah, it's very intuitive. The fourth category is video and audio generation, and this is probably the fastest moving area in AI right now. It's developing incredibly quickly. For video, tools like Google's VO and Runway, they can generate short, pretty high definition video clips just from text prompts, creating dynamic scenes, animating characters. For audio, 11 Labs offers just stunning realism in text-to-speech. You can do voice cloning, create custom voices. The quality is unreal. And for music, tools like Suno and Udia can generate entire songs with vocals, instruments,
From just a simple text description of what you want, it's kind of wild.
It is genuinely mind-blowing what's possible now. It really is. And finally, the glue that kind of brings it all together. Automation platforms. These are your digital glue, right? Connecting different AI tools with each other and with all your other apps. Zapier and Make are known for being user-friendly with visual interfaces, good for connecting cloud apps. And NEN is generally seen as more powerful, more flexible. It's often self-hostable, which means you can run it on your own servers if you need more control or privacy. That makes it
Really excellent for building complex workflows and even those AI agents we mentioned. Okay, so how does understanding these broad categories simplify tool selection for someone who's just starting?
just using AI to actually mastering it.
These are like your superpowers then, for truly mastering AI. Okay, skill one, advanced prompting, the art of the ask. This seems to be the most important skill for getting consistent, high-quality results from AI. A well-crafted prompt, it just makes all the difference. The guide gives us this handy co-star framework. Seize for context. Who are you? What's the AI's role? Who's the audience? Set the stage. O is for objective. What specific tasks do you need done? Be clear. S is for style, or writing style, formal, witty, technical. T is for tone. The emotional feel, empathetic,
Authoritative, maybe playful. A is for audience. Who is this actually for? Tailor it. And R is for response format. How should the output look? Bullet points. Essay.
Okay, I have to admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. Even using frameworks like CoStar, it definitely takes practice and constant iteration. The next skill then is skill two, tool literacy and selection. This means knowing what's actually possible with the different types of AI tools and crucially, picking the right specific tool for the job at hand. So you can instantly think, okay, deep research, I need Perplexity for citations. Or complex automation logic, that sounds like NENN.
Right. Then there's skill
3, workflow thinking. Deconstruction and reconstruction.
Yeah.
This is all about breaking down a bigger goal into smaller, manageable, sequential steps, and then strategically assigning each of those little steps.
Yeah, so instead of just asking the AI, write a whole marketing campaign, which is way too broad, you break it down. First, use ChatGPT to brainstorm target audiences. Then, maybe use Perplexity to research their specific pain points online. Next, get Claude to draft some compelling ad copy based on that. Then, pop over to Midjourney for a striking visual, and maybe finally use Zapier or Make to automate posting it across your social platforms. Kind of like stacking Lego blocks, right? With data and AI functions.
Precisely.
And the final evergreen skill, skill 4, critical evaluation and creative remixing. Remember, AI is a collaborator, a very powerful one, but not an infallible.
plausible-sounding untruths. You must always fact-check for basic accuracy and just plain common sense. Okay, so once you get comfortable with individual tools and start building these effective workflows, the next significant level up is building autonomous AI agents. Now, there's a key distinction here we should make between automation versus agents. An automation, while it's super useful, it follows a fixed, predefined path. If this happens, then do that specific action. Very rigid. An agent, though,
That's different. An agent can reason, it can plan, it can make decisions independently to achieve a broader goal you give it. It shows a kind of emergent intelligence.
So an agent has its own kind of...
Exactly, that's the idea. The core components of an agent usually include a brain, which is typically an LLM doing the reasoning and planning. It needs memory, so it can remember past interactions and keep track of things during a multi-step process. Context is key. And crucially, it needs tools. These are the specific actions it's allowed to take, like searching the web, sending an email, interacting with other software APIs. And platforms like NAN are actually making agent building much more accessible now. You can often visually drag and drop components to give an LLM a goal.
And the specific tools it needs to achieve that goal.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. I mean, imagine managing a whole team of specialized AI agents, each handling different tasks.
Them away from just manual execution to something else.
They shift tasks from being step-by-step manual processes to being goal-oriented, autonomous problem-solving activities.
And the sources really emphasize this isn't just abstract theory. The guide actually provides a concrete 90-day action plan to go from, say, novice to genuinely proficient in AI.
Yeah, this is a really practical, structured path. It's designed to get you started and build real momentum, which is key. Month 1 is the explore phase. The whole focus is just building foundational fluency and confidence.
Getting your feet wet. So, week 1, the goal is simple. Solve your very first daily annoyance using ChatGPT or Gemini. Dedicate just 30 minutes a day. Could be summarizing notes,
Exactly. Then week 2, dive a bit deeper. Really try to master one LLM. Learn its quirks, its strengths, its weaknesses. Maybe start building a personal prompt library of instructions that work well for you. Week 3 introduces those research assistant tools. Try using Perplexity for your next 10 web searches instead of Google. See how it feels. And if you have relevant documents, maybe start exploring Notebook LM with your own stuff. Then week 4, wrap up the month with a mini creative project. Use Midjourney, Suno, or 11 Labs. Generate a
custom desktop background image, or a short, maybe silly theme song for yourself. Just create something. Get hands-on.
Okay, that sounds like a solid first month. Really builds confidence and familiarity. What about month 2?
Month 2 is the power user phase. This is where you start building those cohesive workflows we talked about, combining tools. So in week 5-6, your goal is your first 2-tool workflow. Look back at that annoyance you solved in week 1. Now try solving it again, but this time using at least 2 different AI tools in sequence, like maybe research best practices on Perplexity, then use ChatGPT to draft a template based on that research. Then in weeks 7-8, undertake a slightly bigger multi-tool project. The guide suggests
Creating, say, a 3-page presentation, research the content with Perplexity, structure it with ChatGPT, then create graphics with Ideogram or Midjourney. This is where you really start to feel the magic of combining.
Month 3 is the builder phase. Now the focus shifts to automation and building systems. In weeks 9-10, build your very first simple automation using Zapier or Make. A classic startup project, really useful too, is automatically saving all your Gmail attachments directly to a Google Drive folder. Practical, works well. Finally, in weeks 11-12, challenge yourself to build a simple agent using a platform like N8N. That RSS feed summarizer we mentioned is a great first agent project. Check feed, summarize with LLM, post summary to Slack.
The real goal here is to understand the process of giving an AI a broad goal, giving it the tools it needs, and then letting it run autonomously to figure it out.
Why is having such a structured action plan?
It provides concrete, manageable steps. It prevents that feeling of being overwhelmed, and it builds your skills incrementally, layer by layer, if we kind of zoom out and connect all this to the bigger picture, the core message here is really profound, I think. It's about empowerment, not intimidation. AI doesn't take things away. It provides these incredibly super intelligent tools that genuinely amplify our own human capabilities.
Exactly. We've sort of uncovered how to break down those initial mental barriers, how to
Identify your own personal AI journey through those personas, understand these stable core concepts that underpin everything, and how to leverage the essential tools that are available.
Critical collaborative thinking that will only become more valuable in the years ahead.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Instead of just thinking about AI as something that sort of happens to us, what if we started seeing it as a powerful co-creator, an incredibly capable partner allowing us to build things prompt by prompt, entirely new possibilities that maybe don't even exist yet? What might you build first? What problems could you solve?
And remember, you are not behind. Just by completing this deep dive with us, you already have a more structured, practical understanding of AI than most people out there. Seriously. Your next step is simple. Just begin.
Don't wait for the perfect tool or the perfect moment. That moment is now. Pick a path explorer, power user, maybe eventually builder. Start with one small problem.